Hi, everybody. Today I'm so excited because I have Oliver Graf on the line, who's a dynamic entrepreneur, real estate visionary, and co founder of Big Block Realty, which has been one of the fastest growing brokerages in the U.S. Oliver, somebody who really knows his stuff. Oliver, great to have you on. How you doing today?
Doing awesome, John. Thank you. Appreciate you having me on, and looking forward to having a good chat.
Absolutely. So, Oliver, how many years have you been running a Big Block now?
So we started Big Block in 2011, and it was really kind of born out of a desire to want to do things differently. Like, for example, the traditional real estate model is generally, you put an agent on a split, and then, let's say they're 70-30, and when they close a deal, the agent gets 70%, 30% goes to the brokerage, something like that. It can vary based on experience. But with us, we had the idea of making it more of we really wanted to build an agent first brokerage. So we thought to ourselves, how can we create kind of like a membership model brokerage? And that's what we ended up doing. And that's how we came up with like the 100% commission model. So our agents essentially, they get 100% commission and they pay a monthly fee to be a part of the brokerage. So it's a little bit different, but for most agents that are producing, they're almost guaranteed to be more profitable with a model like ours.
It seemed like when you launched that, and maybe even today, it's a newer model. It's different. Was that a big risk for you to launch?
Yeah, I mean, I would say so. At the time, like we didn't really know of any other companies that were like ours. There were other ones, but they were in different states, and we kind of hadn't really crossed paths with them at all. And so, yeah, I would say it was a little bit obviously risky in the sense that we had to sell people on the model. The biggest thing we got early on was like, what's the catch? Like they didn't really get it at first. And so getting to our first kind of 20, 30 agents was a real uphill battle. And then, kind of growing it from there. But we started closing some deals, agents started getting paid. Then we were able to leverage that with like testimonials and putting that stuff into our marketing. And but yeah, at the beginning it was very unique because there were, like I said, there was that like traditional real estate brokerage, and then they also had kind of these like flat fee brokerages, but a lot of those were very like rent a broker, like don't call us, we'll call you. There was no support, no anything like that. And so we really wanted to create kind of like the full service approach and still be able to offer a high split and a ton of value, more of the traditional brokerage, back end with this higher commission front end.
One thing that was really cool to watch when you were launching is a lot of it felt really organic. What was it really organic, or was it more paid driven? Did you have a big marketing budget, a little marketing budget?
Yeah, so we had almost no marketing budget, so it was very organic. We really, we had been in real estate for probably close to a decade at that point, and this was right when the great collapse in '08 happened, and we had kind of done a lot of deals in the short sale space to kind of get through that, and then the market was starting to come back at that point. Um, and then from there, we really just decided we wanted to build a brokerage for people like us that were entrepreneurial, that didn't want to do mandatory meetings and floor time and things like that. But we also wanted help when we needed it, and we wanted, good broker support and good training. So it was really just let's blend all these things together. And then we literally just sat in a room and just dialed all day till we could get a little bit of revenue coming in, and then we were able to allocate towards marketing, and then that kind of started to grow over time as the company started to grow.
I loved watching that hustle, and I still love watching it today. And I love some of the viral videos that you produced. And it looked like going live and doing podcasts, and really some of the thought leadership was a big part of it as well.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, one thing that, and that's actually where we met, was the War Room Mastermind, which was a big internet and marketing mastermind. And, shout out to all those guys. That was a big part of us being able to grow, was really kind of like you said, like learning all those marketing things that were low cost but high impact, putting out videos, doing social media. And this is, in 2010, this stuff was all still fairly new. Especially in the real estate world, like in the real estate space, nobody was really doing any of that. It was kind of an archaic business at the time. It still is in many ways. So being able to stay ahead of that with like that, having that little marketing edge and being able to use like free things like social media and YouTube and all of these different things kind of as those platforms grew as well, we were able to kind of leverage all that.
I love when you take great marketing hacks from other industries and, bring them to industries that haven't seen them yet and then watching the success. And you guys certainly have had that and continue to have that. What have been some of the pivotal moments that you've kind of thought about, different phases in growth or different inflection points over the history of the business?
We've always been really creative with the way we've looked at the business, and a few of the things that we did that were kind of no one else was really doing was we had like a referral program where we called it 5 and it's free, where if they referred 5 agents to join the brokerage, then they were free for as long as those 5 agents were with us. We also came up with a program where agents, for each agent they referred, their name would go in the hat. And every year at the holiday party, we would like give away a Mercedes Benz, which was a 3-year lease on a Mercedes Benz. So we did all these kind of like different marketing things that were really like buzzworthy and got a lot of people talking, which created a lot of word of mouth. And then obviously, like the word of mouth is, it just kind of builds on the referrals. And then we were rewarding the referrals through the different ways that we were doing that, like the 5 and it's free and the Mercedes program and things like that. And so that was a big part of it, is just kind of looking at things in a creative way, in a different way, and coming up with some crazy ideas that just happened to work.
It's so fun to watch it from the outside and watch you cut through a crowded market. And it seemed like almost that was part of your core values in some way, just innovation. Talk to me a little bit about your core values and how you were able to create those and embody them in the business as you grew to such a big company.
Yeah, so I would say our, kind of core value number one is, um, we wanted to make every decision as a company based on what's best for our agents. And there's been lots of times over the years where we could have rolled out a program, or we could have added something that maybe would have made us more money, but it wasn't necessarily the best for the agents. And so that kind of like laser focus on really like going above and beyond for the agents, delivering maximum value, delivering maximum support, and just really kind of building the entire company around doing what's best for the agent is really what kind of led to, the growth and some of the success we've had over the years.
Putting the customer first, always a really important thing to do.
It sounds simple when you say it. It sounds like obviously you're going to do that, but really it's hard on the day to day, especially when there's things that come up where it's like, oh, if we just made this little tweak, we could make a lot more money on this other part of the business. But is that really what's best for the agent? And ultimately, like having to say no to those other things is easy to say and harder to do, but it is definitely our main core value.
What do you think about the current market, and what do you wish people understood about the current market? Like, how are you thinking about it now with rates where they are and things are headed in the future? Where's your head at, and how are you talking to people about it?
I do think that the worst is behind us in terms of the real estate market. I mean, we got hit first, right? When they took the interest rates from, mid threes to 7%, that basically put a grinding halt to a lot of the transactions. And so unless someone absolutely had to move, they weren't going to move. It also, it froze out a lot of buyers and things like that. But it does look like we're at a point now where that's starting to turn around. Rates are supposed to be starting to come down. So we'll see. We'll see how all that goes.
obviously really hard to predict, but not just the real estate industry, just in general, business has been really impacted by this. But I think a lot of people are feeling pretty optimistic about 2025, 2026. And I think you're smart not to make any too bold predictions at the moment. We'll see what happens, but I think it's going to be really positive for businesses as we move forward, as long as people follow suit.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of real estate, we're down to 2008 sales levels. So that pent up demand is the dam is going to break at some point.
100%. That'll be interesting to see when it does, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Do just a flood of more houses come on the market because people have been waiting to move for so long? Um, Probably, right? And then, but also, do a lot of buyers come on the market at the same time? And how does that all shake out? I mean, pretty much impossible to predict. It'd be interesting to see if it's even, or if prices go up. So, Oliver, what are you excited about for the future? Anything you're doing with AI or software that you want to talk about, or anything just in general, technology wise, outside of, listing houses and buying houses?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's always kind of what I've been most excited about is, and how we built the business over the last few years is kind of being on the forefront of tech and marketing and now it's AI and all those types of things. So we're definitely using that. I mean, I'm using it, I would say daily at this point. Whether it's making videos, whether it's writing copy, whether it's creating ads, really using AI on across all parts of the business. We're actually working on a software as well that will help the real estate industry, and we're building some AI into that. So yeah, definitely, I definitely see that as a big opportunity, kind of an exciting next phase.
I recently did a poll, and by recently I mean as recently as today, that a couple hundred people took. And I asked, do you think AI is going to significantly impact your industry over the last 5 years? As of right now, 90% of people have said yes. Do you feel the same way about real estate?
I've thought about this a lot. I think that like I'm uncertain. Obviously, like there's technology advancements happening like crazy, but I think that like with real estate, people and a lot of industries actually, I think people still want the human touch. I think they want to work with a person, not necessarily like work with a bot or like work with the computer. That being said, who knows? But there's definitely disruption happening in terms of where and how. It's really hard to say.
It is hard to say, and we're using it a lot here for a lot of different use cases, and also have had a lot of people pitch us ideas on different things, and everything's still really new. You can get things done faster. You could make 20 variations of an ad or an image or create a video, but is it really high quality? And it's truthfully not fully there yet. So Oliver, what things are you excited about for the future? Any advice for people for their digital marketing or for real estate agents as we're kind of closing out today?
I'm just excited about the future in general. I think that, with all these advancements that we're talking about, people are going to be a lot more productive. They're going to be able to go a lot further, a lot faster. And so just leverage these things. I know there's a lot of fear out there as well. I would say just block out the fear and try to leverage these technologies. I think there's a lot to be said about people won't get replaced by AI. People will get replaced by people using AI. And I think that that's more of my thought process at this point because it does make us so much more efficient, so much more, ability to get more things done faster. I think to your point, it isn't quite there yet. I think it does still need a lot of massaging. It needs a lot of prompting, a lot of creativity. And I think that's what's exciting to me about the future is just everyone, all of our collective, everybody listening, just the opportunity to be able to leverage these things to improve our businesses and to grow them further faster.
And for anybody who wants to check out your podcast, you've had some amazing guests, completely blown away by how cool they have been to listen to. What is your podcast, and where can people listen to you, and maybe any guests you've had on or upcoming ones?
Yeah, so the show's called Founders Club. It's you can find it on YouTube or all the big podcast players. Founders Club, and we've had Grant Cardone, Chris Voss, we've had Robert Kiyosaki, we've had Ryan Serhant, Elena Cardone, and a lot of tech entrepreneurs. But really, the focus is just around founders and people doing big things, so that we can all learn. I try to make it like a mastermind that is open format that everyone can participate. And I usually put out on my social medias for guests that are coming up if people want to submit questions and stuff like that. So you can find me at Oliver Graf 360, Oliver Graf, GRAF, the number 360. Connect, send me a direct message. Would love to connect with you guys.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Oliver. And everybody, is a great show. Check it out. Thanks for being on today. We appreciate you taking the time. We know you're a busy guy. We'll see you online. Thanks, Oliver. See you soon.
Likewise, man. Thanks, John. Appreciate you.